Hey, you guys probably know me as Multimac from Twitter. Some know me as Truckadale, main game name. And I recently made a tweet. I'll pull it up now. Give me a second. Where I said, I feel like I should make a YouTube guide on how to actually play Trials. Because because watching all the improvement videos to give the most piss poor advice ever, blah 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 blah. I really just think that most YouTubers don't know how to play Trials. It's gonna sound egotistical, but they're all like content creator levels. There are only a couple people in that sphere who I'd consider like actually watching to get good at Trials. Those being like Defizzle, Panda, watching people like Diamonds play, watching Kirkser, Cara Dennis. Those like the only ones I'd really consider like worthwhile. Winner as well. So I thought I would make the guide because I don't know if you know, but I enjoy Trials a little bit. I've been playing a while. I've always been around 3 KD-ish since Season 16, which was Omni Meta. I kind of came up when all the goofy shit came out. Before that, how old was I in fucking 2024? I was 15. I was a bit poo. I was like a PvE kid. Used to play with not the best of players. And yeah, gradually got better. Which, as many people might think, I'm not in fact on a Cronus. The, I don't need one. They're shit in D2. And yeah, enough rambling. Alright. First thing I'm gonna say about getting good in trials is stop giving a shit about the loadout you're using. So many people use like goofy ass guns like,
Oh, I could use my gnawing hunger or my fract fist and my profit combination.
like no. You to win in trials, I'm talking about like winning every game, not dropping around, shit like that. You need to understand that you need to get goofy, bro. If you look at my loadouts, this is Prosecutor. I have the wrong Prosecutor assigned, but yeah. That's Prosecute with OEM. This is my two SMG loadouts. That's my SMG on Striker loadout with IQ loss. PvE. That's my Precious Scars loadout with Prosecutor. And then this is my little Igneous loadout on Striker with Dunes. You need to understand that everything in this game can be used in a goofy, goofy way. Like, there's a reason why they call it quote unquote build crafting. Like, you need to understand what your fucking subclass does. Scatter grenades with controlled demo, stupid. Echo Vigilancy, get an overshield, and then you have a plus 40, stupid. You need to have every possible advantage when you're playing trials. Stop giving a shit about morals. No one has morals. If you want to win, this isn't a battle of this isn't a battle of who is the most trustworthy and honorable player. You are not like a samurai in the Japanese Empire. You should not give a shit. You should use whatever the fuck it takes to win. And sometimes that means swapping guns mid-game. So, like, if I run out of Forerunner ammo, sometimes I'll swap to a Hawkmoon. Or I'll sometimes have, where is it, a Vigilance Wing, or I'm lost, where's my messenger? Uh, I'm lost, where the hell is it? I don't know. Well, sometimes I have a messenger in my loadout just in case, or even a hung jury with box breathing. Like this type of shit understanding where you need to like change guns if the game fucking needs it. That's a big one. Like if I'm doing shit with an igneous and I physically can't win any of the games, like I'm just dropping burgers every game, and I'm realizing that people are being more aggressive on the map. People are, you know taking their sweet, not taking their sweet time, just running it down. I'll swap to an SMG. I don't give a fuck. Just be ready to be versatile. Is the big one. And another one I see is people overcommit. Trials is not a mode about getting kills. No one cares if you drop 15 kills. That doesn't matter. Trials is a mode about staying alive and getting a pick, making it a 3v2. You have a numbers advantage for a reason. You do not go into trials expecting to 1v3 every team. Not even the best player in the game expects to go in and just 1v3. You are not playing by yourself, you are playing as a team. And playing as a team, you know, it means you have to team shot, you have to call out. And when I say call out, I don't just mean he's on left. Look, he's on left, he's mid. You need to say, look left, let's team him. Look right, let's go. You need to isolate someone. You can't just say like stay still and just look at the same lane the entire game. Like on Burnout, for example, when you're in mid, you have the rotate to the left, rotate to the right, and then you have mid. You need to be constantly watching out. People often play the head glitch. If you're on two 120s, say to your friend, look, slide this left part, this team. Look where I'm looking. Call out where the fuck you're looking. Don't just say, oh, slide it. Because then you're going to shoot different people. You need to understand that Trials is not about aiming, it's not about gun skill, it's not about any of that. It's about game sense. Uh, and then I get a message here. And then, fucking, what was it? It's about game sense. You you could be the worst gunner in the game. You could have zero gun skill, and you'd still win most games because, like, as long as you understand how to play Trials, as long as you understand that it is a mode about playing fucking mind games against your opponent and just playing the long game, you can win. It's very simple. By the way, this is all unscripted, so if I'm repeating myself, that's why. And yeah, just there are so many things I see wrong in people's gameplay, and then I get a message saying I want to play Trials. Like, for example, I'll watch one of my videos. Let me go at mine. Like, this is a game I played on Burnout Checkmate Week. These are two games I played. These are against two really good players on console, Steve and Dakota. So this first game, I do pretty much nothing. But look at my loadout. Drang and a Forerunner. I'm getting up there because my teammates are looking. You see, my teammate is Hawking, so I'm trying to be the bait. We skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, so here's another thing. Inspect everyone's loadout in between rounds because people will swap. You need to understand what you're playing against. You can't just go in expecting a one size fits all. So you see, I see two people, I immediately run away. And I notice that I'm scorched for that many seconds, I don't peek. Like, I'm sat in that corner because I know if I peek, I die. I tell him to push back around, stare at this, he dies. Now, I can't do anything. I've lost this round. It's three good players. They're playing the number advantage. Look, they're angling me. Two behind, one behind there. Because I can't escape. And even if I play here, they have zone over there. And what can I do? I can, like, maybe get a 1v1. See? He's on point. Angles me. Good play from them. So, I see that I've run out of Forerunner ammo, and I need a team shot. I swap to a Igneous Hammer. My Drang is not going to win me the game. Because they have three long-range weapons. And what do we have? A guy and a Drang running at them. That's not going to change anything. They're going to just team me. They have Chaperones. Chaperone is very broken. You see, I smoked that there. Because hopefully they'd walk into it slow them and we can just team them. And I see my teammate there weak. I look to the left because there could be someone pushing that. And I tell him, look, peek right with me. And then look, he gets really weak. We didn't kill him, but he gets really weak. I say peek right again. I try hold this because often you can peek someone there. See, two-tapped. Throw a nade, get the cleanup. Like, I'm not going to go through the entire game, but you get the gist. Like, it's a lot about team play. We stayed on the zone. That's the big one as well. That zone is not there to look pretty. Okay? That zone is what we call map control. You need to control the map. If you just let people... If you are the one getting pushed, getting pressured all the time, and you're, like, stuck, you've lost the game. Like, if you feel congested and stuck, you've lost. I'm going to be honest. Like, you need to have map control. You need to control what you're playing against. And, yeah, that's a big one in Trials. Alright, now I'm going to move off of Trials game sense and onto loadouts. Depending on your skill of, like, your caliber of skill, I'm going to suggest loadouts real quick. If you are, like, in the 1.0 range, like, 0.7 to 1.0 range, your biggest problem is you're not staying alive long enough. You need to realize that you need to realize you're the shit player of the team, and you need to realize that staying on top of your team will win you games. In solo queue, stop trying to be a hero. Okay? Okay. You should use an AR. Use an AR, and then use either a conditional finality, or I would honestly suggest trying to get good with Chaperone. People might say, oh, use a fusion, use a fusion. No. No, do not use a fusion. Fusions will give you bad habits. You will overcommit to too many engagements with a fusion. Like, for example, I think I've got a canny fusion. No, it's not that one. It's this one. I've got a fair few kills on this thing because I used it in Antaeus meta. But fusions make you commit to an engagement when oftentimes in a tough game it's a 1v3 and isolating that they'll be team shotting and you'll just into die before you charge it. Like that's a big one about fusions is you have to overcommit in a tough game. Whereas with a chaperone, you can peek slide back around the corner like instantly. You can just instantly shoot them from like what 11 meters I think it kills from, and then yeah you can just dip. With conditional, it's conditional. Everyone knows how good this gun is. It's got 95 handling. It kills bulbuls. It kills wells. It's a ridiculous weapon. Alright. As for primaries, the reason why I say not AR, they are such an easy weapon to use. Like, they are not the hard meta. Everyone says that, oh, it's an auto rifle meta right now. No. The numbers are deceiving. If we go to Trials Report, it's going to be auto rifles at the top. Like, look. Auto rifle, igneous, auto rifle, yada yada yada. Here's the big thing about auto rifles. They are so good at what I like to call burger farming, which is killing shit players. You might call me toxic for saying that, but it's true. They are really, really good at killing shit players. But if you're in a tough game and you're over peaking, you're going to get beamed. So that's where you put on a 120 and you team shot. And here's one of the biggest tips I have about winning a gunfight. If you get shot first, stop playing for your ego and unpeak. Because you are losing the TTK battle. It's as simple as that, really. Like, you're gonna lose. Think about it. You're gonna lose. That's the big one. And you staying alive is way more important than you getting, like, some weird damage on them. And just, yeah. Here's another thing, though. If you know you're gonna die, there's nothing you can do. Just play for a trade or play for damage. Like, if you... Getting into those situations is never good, but it just happens. It's how Trials is. Sometimes you get into a shit situation. Just play for a trade or some damage so your teammates can clean up. Understanding when you have to do that is a big, big thing. And that's like, I'm not expecting anyone like who isn't the best to understand that. But on the topic of that, let's get on to what I like to call burger trading. So many bad players in solo queue mostly, duo queue, they just run in with a shotgun like an idiot. Like, if you're just straight lining, you're gonna lose. You should, like, I hate this term, but you should blint them with your primary. Like, get them weak and then use the shotgun. Because if you just run at them with a shotgun, either you're gonna trade or you're gonna look like a fucking idiot. Unless it's Chaperone. With Chaperone, you can just run in like a fucking idiot, get 2 kills, and then get out. Like, that gun is just ridiculous. But yeah, I digress. And yeah, understanding that you can't just run in like an idiot and you can't just play like a fool is a big one. Alright, now I'm going to move on to something called pressure. And you can imagine what that is. You want to be the one pressuring the enemy team. You do not want to be backed into a corner, as I've said before. Because if you're pressuring them, they have to act on the defense. And you can control the map, which I talked about map control earlier. You can control the map, they can't really do anything. Comprende? Comprende. So, when I talk about pressure, I mean you need to angle them. You can't just have... I'm going to pull up, like, PaintNet, just so I can, you know, I can explain what I mean. So, imagine this is you, right here. Beautiful drawing, I know. You're peeking this guy right here, and he's got a teammate that's over here that can see you. So, they can both see you, right? You're going to die, because you've got 2 people shooting at you. But if you have your good friend Jimmy the Pickle over here, angling them. So you've got Jimmy the Pickle, your friend, over here, shooting at them. Then you've also got someone backing you. You're gonna die, but our hero Jimmy the Pickle and Salmon Slither 26, they're gonna get the kill on them because they have to shoot you first. They've prioritized you, and you've got a 2v2. They get the 2 picks, and then they're in a 2v1. And they can also play your res because let's be honest, if you're not playing trials on a Titan or on Hunter with Invis, you're kind of throwing. Like Warlock is really fucking good for one reason. I see so many people playing Warlock on Void and it just sucks. Like Void Warlock is the most overrated class in the game in my opinion. If you're playing Warlock, you're playing this. You're playing Touch of Flame with healing grenades, with rifts, with well, and then make sure you have Ember of Solace. If you're playing anything else, you're throwing. Just get off Warlock. Like you are playing for the heal. In Checkmate, you play for your health. You don't play for anything else. The more health you have in Checkmate, the easier it is to win. On Hunter, there are a few loadouts you can use. I was gonna experiment with this, but that's just like an experimental one. Omni is, in my opinion, the best exotic in the game. Like, bar none. There's nothing better than Omni. The ability to have 2 weakening smokes to get some DR, which you might not think helps, but it helps in primary engagements. It's so good. You get perma invis. Invis is such a broken ability. But, and a big but here, you do not want to overlook Stompies. Stompies are just brilliant. There's nothing bad about Stompies. They make you move, and even though movement in trials doesn't matter on many occasions because trials is about playing it slow, playing it methodical, playing for a pick. Having Stompies be able to like ego chell someone with, I don't know, a Drang or an Igneous or even like a Chaperone, it's just so good. Like you can't go wrong with being able to do that. Alright, so on the topic of Hunter, you need to understand, not even on Hunter, on every class, you need to understand what aspects and fragments do. Stop using shit like this. Like, no one is, what are these gonna do, bro? What the fuck is that gonna do? You want to use the stat ones, you want to use the goofy ones. On Invis, I love Echo of Persistence, because Echo of Persistence makes us hear Invis longer. That's so lovely. And I also love having stats. You see this shit right here? Fucking useless. You can't use a finisher in PvP. But 10 recovery, on the other hand, that is juicy. That's 10 ability and 10 intellect. You don't want to throw that away. And then this is the best fragment in the game, in my opinion. Melee final blows start health regeneration for you and your nearby allies. Health regen means you don't die. And melees are fucking OP because netcode. Lol. Alright, so understand your subclass. Don't just use some shitty ass fragments. Understand what's broken about it. That's what I mean by game sense, is understanding what you're playing. Like, if you're playing D2 and you're using like fucking arc staff in trials with fucking like a rose and a pellet, you're just gonna lose. Like, although that loadout is very fucking like sneaky to play, like nerdy to play, like I hate playing against them because they know it's a shit loadout, so they try even harder to win. I hate playing against that shit, but it's just not worth it. Like it's simply not worth it over something like this. Alright. So now that I've finished talking about understanding your subclass, you need to understand your armor. Targeting mods, they're broken. They give you aim assist. Aim assist is ridiculous. Dexterity mods, way better than reloaders. Sure, you can reload your gun kind of fast. Who cares? You have dexterity. It means you can pull them out faster. You can swap your guns faster. That's so good. Unflinching, you don't want your primaries to get flinched, do you? Like, if you're shooting someone, we'll go back to this. We'll make a new thing. If we're going back to this, and you've got your primary, and you've got your accuracy cone, right? And then this is, I don't know, Iggy Piggy over here. This is your accuracy cone. If they flinch you, and then you know, you're kind of in like a fuck situation. Your accuracy's gone. Your gun is now shooting fucking bricks that are up fucking here. That's not worth it. But if you have flinching mods, you can stick on their head, and then unlucky for Iggy Piggy right here, he's just dead. Alright? Comprende? Yeah. So, flinch. Alright, and then here's some secret build crafter tech that not many people know about, but it is ridiculous. Recuperation better already. 70 health, instant health regen, and then you have Reaper. It means you can just not die. You're not going to die. And that's important, because as I've said before, Trials is not a mode about getting kills, it is a mode about staying alive and getting to the OBJ, playing the OBJ, if you understand that, right? And now I'm going to go through armor stats. So we're going to pull up D2 armor picker here. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna explain it in a very isolated way, alright? On Hunter, this a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, but I have like a PhD in D2 armor picker. This is useless. Stop using this. This is shit. Use this or this instead. Because then you can get some resilience. You can get wait there, I'll change my fragments around quickly. So putting on the ones that I like to use. There's my 4 that I like to use on Boyd. So get yourself some resilience to survive those 120s. And then, wait there, need to not use that. And then so you can survive your 120s there, you see, with 7 resilience. Probably the best resilience tier right now, other than if you're on Titan where you play 10. Get yourself some recovery. Intellect, the most important stat, other than resilience. The difference between these tiers here and these 2 tiers is tiny. 10 intellect is what, 5 seconds? You see? You see that? 5 seconds. Why would you want that? That's useless. Okay? You want 9. 8 is like 10 seconds, and then 7, 20 seconds, another 10 seconds. That's 20 seconds. Like, you want 9. And if you don't have 9, then you're kind of trolling. And then, because on Invis I like my scatter grenades, I'll go for 6 there, and then 2 here, because I have Gambler's Dodge. There's no need for me to really care about my strength. So, this build's kind of fucked. I try lower it. There we go. Now it's better. Min-max that shit, okay? Understand that the difference here is 4 seconds. Who gives a shit about 4 seconds? Like, instead of... And if you give that away, you then can't survive a 120, 2 head, 1 body. You don't have 10 recov, you have less intellect, you have less discipline for your grenade. Like, it's just a load of shit. Stop worrying about mobility on a Hunter. 7 is really good. 8 is perfect. I love these 2 tiers. Anything below that I think is kind of shit. On Titans, if you are not running 10 resilience, I want you to grab the nearest fork and just stab your hand with it. Because that's what you're doing to me. You are butt fucking me in trials by not being on 10 resilience if you're on my team. And me not liking you means I will click my crouch key on your body and I will get a message saying, wow, I thought you were better than that. I know you from Twitter. Something like that. The amount of times that's happened to me, and I'm just like, you were running a Buki build. You deserve that. Like, you need to understand that this game is about being the bigger dickhead. Stop being some weird build crafter that uses fucking Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap sitting behind a rally barricade on Behemoth, or some guy using Second Chance to weaken them with a fucking shield toss. Stop being that guy. Abuse the meta. It's there to exist for a reason. Get yourself some fucking Peacekeepers. Get yourself some fucking OEM style. Get yourself something like that. Stop using goofy exotics. It's trials. This is not quick play, this is trials. This is the mode where you want to win. If you want to go flawless, you have to use whatever the fuck it takes. You have to incorporate some fucking, like, Black Ops level tactics where you're understanding everything. Alright, I've kind of rambled on. This has gone on 25 minutes. I'm just going to concise a few more points. I'm probably gonna make this into a series, by the way. Like, this is not the first video. This is literally just me spitballing. Like, I'm sat here with no scripts, sat in my fucking pajamas, just spitballing. Okay, what else is there really to talk about? Oh yeah, here's another thing. Understanding meta shifts. A big one, if we go to the TWID here, we go to This Week in Destiny. So, if we go to this here, we find out that there's these changes happening. Auto rifles decreased it by 5%. Okay, this is just precisions, right? If we go to my beloved D2 Foundry, we go to Prosecutor. We go to this. We have a damage profile of 35.54%. Alright. So now we go to, let's just go away, my calculator here. Alright, so we whack in our value of what was it again? 35.54. I'm lost. Okay, and then we divide it by 10. Then we get that. And then we divide that by 2 to get how much the damage is being reduced by. 1.77. My maths isn't the best anymore. I haven't been in school for a minute. Well, at least for maths. It's 1.77. So we do 35.54 minus 1.77. 33.77. Anything, if it's 33 point and it's 0.00001, as long as it's above 0, it will do rounded up to 34. And we know that in this meta, we have 240 health, right? Or 230 health at tier 10. So if we do 230 divided by 33.77, we find out it will take 7 crits to kill. Just 7 straight crits. Right now, it takes 6 crits in one body at 10 rezo. Well, 10 to 3, you see? So understanding that, we can tell that this nerf is going to do jack diddly shit. It's going to do nothing, alright? And then it's also going to make target lock more useful. Because it'll make it so, with target lock, you'll now 6 crit one body like you used to. Understand that? Yeah. So understand the endgame meta. Understand the meta shifts. So, this shit, I really don't care. Pulse rifles, other than 340s, they're just annoying, they're not very good. Hand cannons, no one ever uses 180s. If you're using a 180, you're tossing. Adaptives, it means that you can 3-tap with EP. EP is one of the most obnoxious perks, so that is a really, 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 really boring change. I'm not happy about that. Last words, that just means that if you're on a Zim, this thing's going to be really good. And that's another thing, by the way. Understand that not every top level player is cheating or on a Zim, but if you suspect them of being so, just don't cry about it, just play as if they are. You need to understand that you crying about them being on a Zim is not going to change anything. I hate it too. I think they should be banned. I think they all got put in lockers when they were younger in school. You know, we know this, but what can we do? Like, it's up to Bungie now. This is not up to us. It's up to Bungie. So, don't just go around complaining about them. Play the game, and yeah. And this is going to be my final point for this video, which is just me spitballing, as I say. You need to understand that if you go into a Trials game and you die like, oh, dude, I can't believe I died around a wall. Oh my god, this game is so shit, blah, 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 blah. You're just going to demoralize yourself. Trials is a mind game. Dying around a wall is going to fuck with your mojo. That's fine. Just do not let it affect you at all. That you need to just be ready for it. Understand that D2 is the goofiest of games, and you're going to die to a lot of bullshit. Alright? And dying to bullshit is never fun. But if you dwell on it and you complain, you're like, oh, we only lost the game because I got DD, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. You're playing D2, bro. Like, you should expect this shit to happen. You just need to go into the next round, and you need to not think about it, and you need to stay locked in. It's really about, like, what was it, steamrolling. Like, once you've got everything going, you keep going. You don't want to lose your pace, your mojo, all that shit. So keep up the pace, If you start complaining, you're gonna put your teammates down, you're gonna fucking put yourself down. It's just shit. Alright. As I say many a times, this is just one episode of probably what's gonna be an actual series. This is my like intro episode of just nonsensical rambles about trials. This is completely unscripted. I woke up 45 minutes ago. And the next one, I'm probably going to write a script. I'm probably going to get some proper gameplay. So yeah. Stick around for the next one if you want. Follow me on Twitter so I can see the funny number go up. And if you're on my team in trials, stop trying to be a hero. Stop trying to 1v3. Stick with me, okay? Stay on top of me and team shot with me. Don't just run away. Don't just try play a 1v1. And actually, one more tip. I've got a good friend called Denny, right? Good friend called Denny. Denny's a very good player. You probably know him, Twitch partner, all that chit chat. And then if we look at this game right here, oh, I've got an advert, brilliant. That's a fucking treat. That's sick. If you notice this game right here, right? We're playing against two cheaters, right? That guy and that guy are both cheating. Actually, you might. Okay. So why don't you fuck me a bit harder here? So if you notice in some of these rounds, yeah. Let me skip ahead. You just see Denny fucking running in against two cheaters. Stop trying to play the 1v3. The only reason this guy can do this is because he lives in buttfuck nowhere in Germany with some dodgy internet and he's on M&K. So he has a fucking crackhead brain and he's ready to fucking go. Like right there, that was a stupid push. You're against a cheater. You're not gonna win that. I'm just sat there like a fucking tree because I've got controller, and controller is better than M&K in most scenarios. Unless you're using a 120. And then if you're using a 120 on M&K and you're complaining, you just need to get a grip. Okay. So, enough rambling. That's the end of this one. Cheers for watching. And yeah, appreciate it. See ya.